last week, the Aeroplan program announced a brand new partnership with Virgin Australia, which is Australia's second largest airline. And that opens up a whole new range of possibilities for booking travel down under back when it's time to travel again when Australia's borders reopen. Now in this video, I wanted to cover this new partnership. I wanted to talk about some of the new flight booking possibilities with Virgin Australia added as a partner. And then I'm going to give you some of my predictions for what else Aeroplan is going to do in 2021, because it's going to be a big year for the program. There's going to be lots of new things coming. And I'm just going to share some of my predictions, and we're going to see at the end of the year how many I got right and how many I got wrong. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons just as the video is starting. It's an easy way to support the channel, and it helps the YouTube algorithm show the video to even more like-minded people. And with that said, let's get started. So this new partnership between Aeroplan and Virgin Australia is quite exciting, but it's actually not the first new partnership that Aeroplan has added in the recent past. In fact, it's the fifth new partnership over the past year, starting with Etihad Airways in Abu Dhabi, Azul Brazilian Airlines in Brazil, Vistara in India, Air Serbia in Eastern Europe, and finally Virgin Australia in Australia. And there's a common theme to these new airlines that Aeroplan is partnering with, and that's the fact that they often fulfill what was previously a gap in the geographic coverage of the flights that you could book with Aeroplan points, whether that's the Air Canada route network or the overall Star Alliance route network. There's really no strong Star Alliance presence in Australia, and so now this partnership with Virgin Australia allows you to book a ticket on Air Canada or United down to Australia and connect seamlessly onto a Virgin Australia flight to your final destination somewhere around Australia, New Zealand, or the South Pacific. Now, of course, there's also Air New Zealand, which is part of Star Alliance, but the problem with Air New Zealand is that they rarely make any award seats available, especially in business class and often in economy class as well. And so it's great to see an alternative airline down in that part of the world where we can use our Aeroplan points to book flights in the future and travel around the region. Now, before the pandemic, Virgin Australia used to operate long-haul flights from Sydney and Melbourne up to Los Angeles on the US West Coast. But unfortunately, they've been pretty severely financially stricken by the pandemic, like many airlines around the world. They've undergone some restructuring, they've undergone some business rescue, and now their entire route network is focused on the Oceania region. There's also some interesting routes to some of the Australian territories in the Indian Ocean, from Perth to Christmas Island and the Cocos Keeling Islands. Those are some flights that I'd be really interested in taking one day as somebody who's interested in going to these, remote, far-off destinations. And it's great to know that I now have the ability to redeem Aeroplan points instead of paying what would otherwise be a very expensive cash fare on these flights to the middle of nowhere. Now, Virgin Australia's flights up to Bali, Indonesia are also super interesting. And on that note, let's take a look at a few sample itineraries that might be possible once Australia's borders open up again. You could book a flight from Vancouver to Sydney on Air Canada and then to Perth on Virgin Australia for a total of 60,000 points in economy class or 85,000 points in business class. And if you wanted to add a stopover in Sydney before going to Perth and make a trip to both of Australia's coasts, then you could do that for an additional 5,000 Aeroplan points under the new rules, and so you would pay 65,000 points in economy or 90,000 points in business for the entire one-way journey. And if we consider the flight up to Bali, Indonesia, that opens up a whole new set of possibilities too. For example, you could do Vancouver to Melbourne on Air Canada, spend some time there, and then fly up to Bali and finish your trip there, and that whole one-way journey is again going to be 90,000 points in business class. Don't forget, in general, a flight from North America to the Pacific Zone that's under 11,000 miles flown is one of the best sweet spots under this new Aeroplan program, because it allows you to fly a relatively long distance for a relatively generous number of points. 85,000 Aeroplan points in business or 60,000 in economy. And so with Virgin Australia's route network, there's lots of new possibilities to build out trips to the Pacific Zone that are less than 11,000 miles. And I'd encourage you to hop on the Great Circle Mapper and give some of those possibilities a try yourself. The Virgin Australia partnership officially launches on Tuesday, January 19th. And so that's the date that we should see Virgin Australia flights showing up on the Aeroplan search engine. However, you should be aware that at the moment, any Air Canada flights to Australia, such as Vancouver-Sydney, for example, are priced kind of outrageously. You'll often see them priced for 500,000 points in business class or something crazy like that. And there's a good reason for that. It's basically because, Australia's borders are still closed and there's no telling when they're going to open. Air Canada doesn't really want to be selling too many seats on this flight in case they're going to have to cancel the flights and then reschedule everybody and pay out compensation. And so during this tough period, they're trying to keep a fine balance by still offering some flights but charging some very, very high prices for them. Okay, and so speaking of later in 2021, in the second half of this video, I'll offer you some of my predictions on after Virgin Australia, what are some of the next partnerships we're likely to see, what might those look like, and what's the Aeroplan program going to do to surprise us during this year. Now, the next airline partner is pretty obvious to me. I mean, we have Virgin Australia now, so that's going to be no match for the next airline partner, Air Chad. Well, actually, it looks like Air Chad has gone out of business long ago, so I guess it would be Chadia Airlines and their fleet of 2 turboprops. Okay, silly memes aside, we know that Aeroplan has publicly committed to the fact that there's going to be 1 to 2 more airline partners being released, being announced very soon. And so let's throw out some predictions. One airline partner that I would love to see become a reality, and I think kind of makes sense, is Air Tahiti Nui, which flies to French Polynesia from the US West Coast and also flies to Paris as well. Air Tahiti Nui is one of those smaller airlines around the world that sometimes partners with big airlines, for example, American Airlines, and I think a partnership with Air Canada and Aeroplan would also make sense. After all, Aeroplan's strategy thus far, as we talked about, has been to look for gaps in geographic coverage, and in the South Pacific, there's not that many redemption options. Air Tahiti Nui would really fit that bill and would allow leisure travelers headed to places like Bora Bora to redeem their Aeroplan points for a convenient journey. The next airline partner prediction or wish that I have is perhaps an ambitious one, but I'm going to put it out there. We recently saw Air Canada and Qatar Airways launch a strategic joint initiative. And I mean, Aeroplan has mentioned the fact that they're more likely to strike up new airline redemption partners with airlines with whom Air Canada already has a relationship. For example, Air Canada and Virgin Australia had a code-share partnership in place long before this current redemption partnership is being launched this month. So with this new Air Canada and Qatar Airways relationship in place, I'm thinking there's a good chance that Aeroplan has had those conversations with Qatar Airways in terms of allowing Aeroplan members to redeem points on Qatar Airways one day. And that's something that still speculative, still a prediction at this point, but I would love to see it come to fruition sometime in 2021. And if not Qatar Airways, I feel like another Middle Eastern airline is potentially on the cards as well. Now, besides new airline partners, another thing that Aeroplan has really been hinting at for 2021 is the introduction of new non-air and non-travel partners. And that's where I think things might get even more interesting than simply new flight redemption options. We've heard Aeroplan hinting at the fact that there's going to be a select few very well-respected brands here in Canada that they're going to work with and offer members new ways to earn and redeem points and also potentially to leverage their status for extra rewards. Now, I already have a good feeling as to what some of these partnerships might look like because we can look at some of the ads that Aeroplan has been putting out. We can see that Starbucks and Uber Eats have been figuring prominently in these ads, and I have a feeling that there's going to be closer cooperation between Aeroplan and these two companies and potentially some more as we go into 2021. Right now, you can earn bonus Aeroplan points when you pay for Starbucks using your TD Aeroplan Visa cards, and you can shop on Uber Eats through the Aeroplan eStore and earn additional points there. But I'm thinking we're going to see a closer degree of cooperation between these two brands and potentially more brands as well. Things like, being able to link your Aeroplan membership with your Starbucks card or your Uber Eats account and being able to redeem points directly for your purchases. Or maybe if you have Aeroplan Elite status, you might get a little bonus when purchasing with these companies and whatever other companies that Aeroplan works with. Who knows? It's going to be very exciting. I have a feeling they're trying to transform the way Canadians think about their loyalty programs, and I'm really excited to see what they come up with. But of course, it's not just about Canada. Aeroplan also wants to become a globally competitive loyalty program, and that's going to involve becoming more competitive in the US market and making inroads in terms of US consumers' loyalty strategy. We've already heard about the first step in that process, and that's going to be the introduction of the Aeroplan Chase MasterCard later in 2021, as well as the addition of Aeroplan as a transfer partner to Chase Ultimate Rewards. Here's where I think Aeroplan's strategy of building out additional global airline partners is going to be an advantage compared to their peers in the US. I mean, thinking back to the Virgin Australia partnership, if you're a Chase cardholder, you can transfer points to United right now, but when you book United flights through United Mileage Plus, you can't really connect onto an intra-Australia flight because they don't have a partnership there. But if you were to transfer your Chase points to Aeroplan in the future, then you would be able to book that United flight followed by Virgin Australia to your final destination in Australia on the same ticket. And that's the advantage that this strong global network brings. So my prediction for 2021 here is that Aeroplan's gonna make their Chase MasterCard product very, very exciting, very, very creative, because they're going to have a lot more latitude to design this product in the US compared to our more conservative credit card market here in Canada. And I can't wait to see what kind of sign-up bonuses and incentives and benefits they put on the Aeroplan Chase MasterCard in order to truly compete in the US credit card market. So those are some of my predictions for Aeroplan in 2021. Remember, it's just my opinion. We'll see how many of them I get right come the end of the year. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please do hit the like button and subscribe to the Prince of Travel YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button below the video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram @Prince of Travel and join the Prince of Travel Elites Facebook group, the links to which are in the description below. Let me know in the comments what you think Aeroplan's next airline partner is going to be. And also let me know what you think of my predictions for Aeroplan and what you're hoping to see from the program in 2021. I'll see you in the next video. Down under, down under, down under. Air Tahiti Nui, Air Tahiti Nui, Nui.